Welcome to Late Night with Linda Rosa, where we get down to the arts of the matter.
My darlings y queridos, welcome y bienvenidos to Late Night with Linda Rosa, getting down to the art of the matter. Welcome back to the second season of Late Night with Linda Rosa. And actually this season, we're doing something a little bit different. We have Evie here with me today as my guest co-host. And I'm really excited to have her here, and we're going to meet her in a second. But I did want to talk about the topic of the day. I do hope that during this time that that we were off, that everyone's having, had a great summer and enjoyed what you could have of this pandemic summer, if you want to call it. I don't want to keep talking about the pandemic or Corona because I feel like it's redundant. And it's like, how many times you can ask somebody how they're doing in this, right? It's just more about like, let's just kind of move forward, but mindfully. So I do hope that everyone's doing well. Please let me know what you guys did that was entertaining. I mean, how creative can you really get during this time? So one of the few things that we're doing in this show this season is, like I said, we have a guest co-host. We'll have some more artists and power moves of the week, and with just some more surprises coming in. So I'm very excited to have you guys welcome me back. And actually the first topic of the season is the art of embracing your inner natural beauty. I think this is a great topic. I think that everyone has a different definition of what your inner beauty is. And when someone says to me, embrace your inner natural beauty, I don't just look to my looks, because I feel like inner natural beauty is so much more than what's behind the makeup. Not shitting on makeup, because I love makeup and I like playing with it and all that. Hello. But that's not saying that I can't embrace what I look like at night. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean I'm not going to embrace what I look like in the morning. This generation, or a lot of the younger folks, there's a lot of shallowness happening, where people treat you depending on your, it's like tax bracket. They pay attention to you depending on what you look like, your followers. And I feel like that has a huge effect on how we see ourselves. What I do see, though, that is a positive, is that there is more of a empowerment towards natural beauty, inner natural beauty, like natural hair, embracing that. I do see that. I just think that there should be more of a presence, a genuine presence. However, there's some tricks to this, because I've seen people like, damn, I don't want to name drop, but let's be real. The Kardashians be talking about this natural beauty, but their makeup is really, really great, especially Kylie Jenner. But let's be real, when you guys talk about natural beauty, you got mad shit on your face. I'm talking about complete bare and just embracing what it is. Now, does that mean that embracing your inner natural beauty is only the outside, only that? No, like I mentioned before, I think how you feel inside, even on that one day, really affects how people see you when you go out and about, and the energy you give can make you ugly. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen some people who are like so attractive and beautiful, and their fucking attitude ruined the whole shit. It's like you went from like, and I'm not saying that I was going to treat them different or better or nicer because they look great. It is more of like, my mother always said, te tratan como tu anda, and for me, when I see someone who's presentable, that takes care of themselves, that takes a second, even if you're not financially able to do all this extra shit that a lot of people do, I'm just saying hygiene, presentation, that matters. So when I see that, I'm like, okay, but when you come with this ugly attitude or energy, or like you're better, or you're like hot shit, it makes you so fucking ugly. Like, it makes me wonder what you're like at home. Like, all your looks just went away. Like, you guys, a lot of people use their looks to assume or make people think like that's gonna get you ahead, and to some extent it can. It's just a matter of, Are you going to embrace who you are fully aside from your looks, or are you going to let your beauty, your outside beauty, kind of just run your whole life? Because there's going to come a time where that shit ain't going to work anymore. There's going to come a time where you're going to have a wrinkle where you didn't have it anymore. And then what are you going to rely on? You know what I'm saying? So I think that the arts of embracing inner beauty consists of a lot of different things. I don't know everything, which is exactly why I love having my guests here. But for me, embracing your natural inner beauty is a collective of embracing your spirituality, who you are thoroughly, embracing who you really are, your truth, and understanding that you're not perfect, but you're making mistakes. Because let me tell you, towards the opposite sex, there's nothing more sexier to me than when a man is humble and he understands he fucked up. So what I'm saying is, like, even some people that you may not consider attractive, their energy will change that all up. That's why some of y'all be like, how the hell he get that girl? How the hell she get that man? Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that us embracing our inner beauty, and in different ways, it doesn't have to be my way. I embrace my natural inner beauty different ways, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I think if we're open, you know, to really looking at ourselves, and this is the thing, right? In order to embrace your inner beauty and understand yourself and all that shit, you're gonna have to really check your shit, because you're gonna, it's gonna, you know, reality's gonna have to be a few pills you're gonna have to swallow. Once you get over that hurdle, then it's kind of like, nobody could judge me now, because I already know what the fuck what is up with me. You know what I'm saying? But you have to understand, to embrace your inner natural beauty is a process in itself, and it's an entire thing. It's not just, oh, I know that this looks good on me, and this is the look, and this is no, because at the end of the day, you could lose that in a second. Your looks can go in a second. You need to be able to build yourself where nothing can break you. And to me, that is a form of embracing your inner beauty. But I know that there's other ways. So without further ado, before we get really deep into the conversation, I would love to introduce you guys to my lovely guest co-host for this episode, Evie. Hello.
Hey, y'all.
Bienvenidos. Hi. Let me tell you how I met this amazing, beautiful person. We're former colleagues. We worked in similar but different departments, like together but not really, kind of thing. But anyway, to me, her name was Evie Super Chill. Like, she's super fucking chill, you know. And the great thing about Evie is that she gets my crazy, she gets my funny, but she has a respectful and really great way of communicating her ideas, her opinions, you know, and she's open-minded. She doesn't always agree with me, but she does it in such an eloquent way that I was like, why wouldn't I have her here? Hello. You know. We're very similar, but we're very different. But I love our differences. I think our differences are going to give you guys this amazing, fun, you know, open-minded show where you get two different opinions from two Latinas from two different walks of life, but have that common respect for each other to have conversation.
Yeah.
¿Y a dónde tú ves eso, mi amor? Tell me. So anyway, without further ado, Evie.
What's up?
Yes, honey.
I'm here.
Tell me. I know.
I'm excited.
I am so excited. I can't tell you how happy I am that you are here.
I've been dying to grace your podcast with my mellow voice.
Hello. First of all, guys, when I first started this podcast, she did my photos. She did my photography. What is the name of the business?
Candid Creations is my handle. I'm an amateur photographer at the moment, but I really am just looking to capture everybody's good side. And I think a lot of people are focused on, like we were talking about, their outer beauty versus their inner beauty. And I kind of just wanted to, you know, my now husband bought me my...
Yes! Congratulations! She is married!
I appreciate it.
Yes.
He bought me, you know, he was like one Valentine's Day, I think it was. He was like, you know, what do you want? And I was like, I want a camera. And he's like, okay. And I was just like, we're not selfie people, like him and I together. And we always kind of criticize the fact that a lot of people are so stuck on their phones all the time that they're not really, participating in real life. And there was a lot of moments that we didn't capture because we refused to pick up our phone. Like, we wanted to participate. But in that year, I also didn't have a lot of photograph memories. So I was like, I'd like a camera. And since then, I've been just trying to photograph people in their most natural way, but in the most beautiful way, not so much how they want to be seen, but how other people see them. And there's such beauty in that, there's such beauty in being able to capture people in their natural form and how they actually, portray themselves to other people. So I'm working on it, and it's still a work in progress, but whatever.
I'm not gonna lie to you, when my producer and I were talking about, revamping and different ideas and things like that, when he mentioned, this about this, Evie was literally one of the first people I thought of. Dead ass, because
all right.
I knew, and
now
let me tell
I
you
feel
why.
like the flattery's gone too far.
No, let me tell you why. Because there's people that will do collabs and that will help you out with an intention under it, with some funny shit, But Evie was with it. She's in full support, and I can't tell. You helped me out a lot. You did my photo shoot. You knocking next to me, So with all that being said, now that we embraced each other's inner beauties,
all right, we're here.
We embraced each other's inner beauties. Let's talk about.
Now let's talk.
We hugged it out virtually. Now let's talk about the topic of the day. And I did want to get your intake on inner beauty, especially as a photographer.
I just think, I was listening to, you speak about, what it means to who and what, getting down to the nitty gritty of it. And I just feel like there's so many layers to this. It's not one answer. And for you to say somebody is inner beauty because X, Y, and Z wouldn't be fair. There's so many pieces that would make somebody's outside and inside not match. And when we say outside and inside, obviously physically and spiritually, or your soul, whatever it is that you believe in. But I feel like a lot of the reason why, especially generationally, our outsides have become so ugly, if you will, is because of social media. What I mean? There's this level of perfection that you try to reach physically, because that equivalates to likes, and likes means
validation.
You know what I mean? So you can't quite put your soul on social media, but you can put your face on there, you know what I mean? Or some people more. But, with that, it's hard for us to be like, oh, this generation is more shallow. It's not their fault, I feel like. You know what I mean? I feel like they were put in front of a screen at a much younger age than you and I probably were. And social media has become not so much a recreational thing, but almost like essential to their lives. They almost don't know how to communicate without it. And if you don't have the likes, then my friend, we're not friends.
We're not friends here. You can't sit at our table. But you see what Linda would have said would have been, fuck your table. I don't make one for myself. But you did make a good point. But my question to you, if it's not their fault, and I'm not trying to find someone to blame.
Right.
It's not their fault. I get that, but how do they make the change?
Yeah.
Because
with that, I just feel like you can't, when I say it's not their fault, I mean like you can't box it in and be like, oh, they're just shallow. We definitely created this from the generations before. But I think a lot of the reason, or a lot of the way to change it, is influencers. Like the first person that came to my mind, or Alicia Keys. She went on this whole movement where she was gonna do the whole no makeup, natural, embrace yourself thing, and it didn't really catch fire. But what does? The Jenners and the Kardashians, right? So it's just like, I feel like the efforts are out there, but again, it's back to that. What's gonna get you more likes? What's gonna get you looked at? What's gonna get you noticed? And
actually, that so you right. And then you mentioned Alicia Keys, but did you know that Alicia Keys, another form of expression, because embracing self-inner beauty is also a form of expression. And one of hers was braids. And that one was effective because I feel like I know everybody was rocking braids at a certain time, but Alicia Keys definitely she definitely
first
put,
came out,
she definitely put like a stamp on that, and that's what I'm talking about. And I get what you're saying, as in like, that they're shallow and it's not necessarily their fault, but then I feel like it's difficult because at the same time, like you said, like, yeah, we have a movement of embracing your natural beauty, but when I'm looking at natural beauty, on some people see Alicia Keys is a great example. She's straight natural, like, and she embraces, who she is. She's a deep individual. Like, you see her perform, you see, the content she puts out, and she's a spiritual, deep individual. So she embraces herself in her beauty. But what about the ones that really got capital, the ones that really hold that weight? A lot of times I see them do this natural thing and I'm like, yo, that's mad fucking makeup. It's just clear. Yeah. So my thing is, you're right. At that, I still believe they're shallow, and you're right, it's not necessarily their fault. But then my thing is, at what point do we, women, even men, at what point do we go, all right, so clearly my looks ain't gonna do it all. So,
and I think that's where the line kind of sort of blurs out. I think that because we're in the age of social media, people want to, IG versus real life. They want to present the perfect family. They want to present the perfect friends, the perfect adventure. They want the cute backdrop. They want this. Even when you're on vacation, the moments that they're with their family, it's really about the post, like, let me stand here, and then the whole time you're on your phone. So I know, like, it's a little bit off topic, but it kind of blends in with the same idea and the same concept, that it's sort of blurred together, inner beauty and outer beauty. I think it's almost like, I'm down for a really good selfie, but I'm also down for helping my fellow sister, my fellow brother. So I think I think it's hard, like I said, it's hard for us to be able to say, oh, you're shallow, you're ugly on the inside because you're pretty on. It's not one because of the other. I think that not judging people anymore because they wear makeup, or not judging people because of the fact that they don't, or not judging people because of how they dress, has become something that is a little bit more accepted. Because I remember when I was young, if I didn't have the right sneakers, or if I didn't have the pressure,
the pressure, because again, a great point. You're combining inner and outer, and it becomes confusing. And let me tell you why it's an issue, and let me tell you why I think it starts at home. You're right, because look, I grew up. I'm thankful for my parents because they work extremely hard for me to make a way for me. I never missed a meal in my life. I have never missed them. It doesn't matter what kind of meal it was. Because eating is eating. So, you know what I'm saying? But I'm grateful. But did I get Jordans every time they came out? Fuck no. But and then if you can afford it, bless your heart. But the pressure to put on people to do, like, I guarantee you there's parents right now spending $200-$300 on a pair. I don't even know how much Jordans cost. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
2, 3, 4,
up there. Yeah.
But it's up there. But you spend on whatever kind of money where there isn't any, because your kid gotta show, his drip is fire. Like,
but if you can put yourself in that time of your life, your parents were stern on you and said, listen, I can't, this is what I can, and it taught you a lesson now. Yes. But at that moment,
I was mad as hell.
You know what I mean? And that's what I mean by it's not their fault. I don't know that it's necessarily like a choice. There's this peer pressure put onto them until the point of pivot where you start to realize.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it starts at home, because the thing is, like, you're my kid and you're like, Ma, I want these sneakers. And you put crazy pressure on me. Now I'm getting money that I also had to pay for, I don't know, insurance or some bullshit to buy some fucking sneakers. Now in your head, you don't even gotta work hard for it. And work to you probably means finesse somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I get that it's not their fault, but to me, I feel like there's a point where you gotta realize, like, all right, look, like you gotta, like, what I'm saying, you gotta come to a point
and it clicks.
There you go, where it clicks.
Yeah,
and does. I just feel like it doesn't. And I feel like maybe because of confusing the two, I feel like some people just think that embracing your inner self beauty is embracing your inner outer beauty. So then my question to you would be, what do you consider inner beauty and how do you embrace it?
To me, a definition of an inner beauty would be more along the lines of just standing firmly as to who you are, you know, and I don't even think it has anything to do with looks or money or anything like that. I just feel like if I portray myself a certain way, I need to be proud of that. Whether you like it or not, that's my inner beauty. I think the people who are missing or lacking thereof are people who are trying to embody a person that's not true themselves. So I could be a person where you could be like, oh, she's ugly. Pretty on the outside, but she's ugly. But if I'm happy with it, that's not your prerogative. So that's why I mean, like, it's not a fine, you know, it's not a black and white. I think that inner beauty, the term inner beauty is, as long as I'm happy with it, that's all that matters.
So inner beauty is self-acceptance.
Self-acceptance, you know, embodiment, it fully though, not like, oh,
like embracing your truth.
I don't want to be kind because I'm
because
afraid.
It's cute.
Yeah,
right.
I'm afraid of you thinking I'm an ugly person. I want to be kind because being kind is genuine to me. You know, or I want to be nasty because being nasty is genuine, whether you like that or not. You know, so I might think that there are traits about you that are ugly, you know, maybe not physically, but inner, you know. I've, you know, worked and dealt and had friends where they've showed me ugly sides of them that I think are ugly. But in retrospect, I'm like, they're just showing me who they are. And that's okay. I'm not going to sit here and embody that. That's okay. Yeah, I'm going to let them be.
When somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't agree more. I think that embracing inner beauty is separating outer beauty a little bit. I know that it's good to look at yourself and to look at yourself and say you look good. It's good because you're speaking it. You're speaking it. It's good to talk nice to yourself. Self-talk is important. You know what I mean? I'm hard on myself. I'm very hard on myself. But a lot of times I remind myself, like, look, yo, a year ago you didn't have all of this, or somebody that would jump to work with you. So you have this self-talk is part of inner beauty to me, because you're with you all day long, and whoever can tell you that they feel however they want about you, that's their personal opinion about you, but what are you telling yourself? And then I think that inner beauty is embracing your truth, whatever it is. And you have to understand that you don't have a lot of great qualities, but nobody said that the most beautiful person in the world was perfect. Nobody said that. Miss Universe, all these other people, they're not perfect. They're just they're perfect to certain people's requirements, or they were close to, and that's how they won. But that doesn't make them completely perfect. However, you have to admire that these same people may or may not, they may be aware of their imperfections, perfections. Like, and what I meant before, when I said when people approach me, I don't judge you based on how you look. It's more of your presentation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And I think judging people is a very natural thing. I mean, and I think that can roll into a whole new conversation. Right. But I think it's sort of how we determine whether or not, all right, it's like a fight or flight thing. Like, am I going to sit here and continue this conversation, or I'm going to leave? I'm not sure. And that usually comes from the judgment of how you carried yourself, you know, what you're wearing, and whether we like it or not. I know myself, I'm working on that, trying not to judge a book by its cover.
Right. And so I try my best not to judge a book by its cover, and I don't, because the thing is, I've dealt with that firsthand, where people literally assume 1,000,001 things, and it's not the case. And they're going off how I look, how I walk, how I talk, how I move, body language. They don't know shit about Linda on the inside. You know what I'm saying? So, and is it right? It's not. But you guys have to understand that you can't change the world in a second, but you can work it to work for you. So what I meant by how you present yourself, it just says a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it means that if you don't take the time to take care of you, I know you're not going to take the time to take care of me.
I got a question though.
What's up?
You're saying, you know, presentation matters. But don't you think that part of embracing who you are and everything that we just said, you know, embodying and being genuine to yourself and not being in your beauty, don't you think that that has to a certain extent to do with the fact that, what's that saying, like, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks onto you type of thing? Like, the fact that you're judging, well, not really judging, but the fact that you have an impression of me because of what I look like, and therefore that impression is what you're going to stand until proven otherwise, am I supposed to care? Because I feel like that's a little toxic.
That's not,
too,
no,
right?
that's not, let me elaborate.
So, because what I mean is, like, some people say, Belinda, you're this or you're that and whatever, and the pride in you is like, well, you don't know me, so there's that.
What I'm saying is that everywhere has, you're not going to go to a wedding in pajamas.
You can. You might never get invited again, but you can.
Right.
But that's my inner beauty. You know?
But would you do that? Would you go to a wedding in pajamas?
If I'm a person that's the version of me that I want to give off, you might not like it, but therefore don't invite me.
But that's inconsiderate. So that's the perception I would take.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
And you would no longer invite me.
That's what I'm. But that's what I'm saying. And but the thing. This is the thing. That's a crazy ass example. Well, let's break it down. Let's break it down. If you went to my wedding in pajamas, right, because you're having a really rough day, and you just were not up to it, and you just don't give a fuck about how anybody sees you. Mind you, you're getting married at like the fucking palace and shit, and it's straight black and white, get like a black tie gowns and all that.
And my mindset is, at least I showed up. We'll run with that.
And my mindset is, I understand you're going through something, and I love you. But this is literally taking that one outfit, that one thing you're doing is taking attention for my entire day.
Right.
Because even though I'm the bride and I have a wedding dress on, your presentation, your presentation completely, because now I'm no longer the concern. The fact that you had the balls to show up to my wedding in pajamas, I get what you're saying. I'm happy you're here.
But what does that do? How does that connect with inner beauty?
Because what I'm saying is this presentation. I'm not talking about outer. The inner is affecting the outer. Right. Because if she felt he or she felt up to it or whatever, then the circumstances of how they came to the wedding, their presentation would have been different. Or they either may not show up, or may say, I'm gonna come a little late, or I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna leave a little early.
But you would instantly classify that as somebody being ugly.
I never said it was ugly. I said it was,
because what we're talking about, what we're breaking apart, is inner beauty and outer beauty, and how you will combine the two. At that point, you would be like, that person's messed up. And
but that to me is ugly. But that's right. But I'm not saying. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
that is a ugly trait. Yeah. I don't know if that's that makes them ugly, because if for me to say that you're me to say that you're ugly because you took my pen home and didn't tell me, that doesn't mean your whole ass is ugly. Right. That just means that that's an ugly trait that I'm gonna be like,
you're gonna remember.
I'm gonna remember that. Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying, because what we put out comes back. Yeah. How would you feel if I, being petty, came to your? I mean, you probably wouldn't. You probably be like, she being petty. She being petty. Like.
But it just goes to show you that this is something that inner and outer, and however, whatever topic or whatever it is, the circumstance, it just goes to show you that, like outer beauty, it's in the eye of the beholder. Like, you would probably not find yourself acquaintanced with me anymore at that point. You know, you would probably sever ties or have a conversation with me or whatever it is. But like outer beauty, it's something that you take, you dissect it, you see how it fits into your world, and if it doesn't, you no longer care for it.
Right, but
it doesn't make that person inner beauty broken or faulty. It just means that your inner beauty doesn't match their inner beauty, and therefore.
Okay, but then my question to you is this. What I'm also looking at, because I look deep into shit. That's just me. In my head, I'm like, what were you thinking that you thought it was cool to do that? How do you see me that you thought? Because see, that's what I'm trying to get at. Inner beauty affects everything. Because there's gonna be people that like are gonna be like, oh, she look ugly in pajamas. Oh, like everyone sees things differently. I don't do that. I look at things from an emotional and spiritual level. In my head, I'm gonna be like,
versus a person like me, I might not see it as emotional. I might just see it as, all right, you played me, but you ain't ever get invited again. I'll tell you that.
I mean, you're right. I'm gonna have that reaction, and don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna be like, bitch, get out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do none of that. And second of all, I'm pretty sure anybody that's in my wedding would have handled that already. So, but aside from that, I wouldn't. I'm not saying that I'm gonna come at you or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person you get the cutoff.
Yeah.
That's it. Because, but back to the point, what I'm saying is I would look at it much deeper. You might be like, look, I bet, boom. But in my head, I'm gonna feel mad emotions, and then a little bit while later, I'll be like, then you get the cutoff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying about your inner beauty and how that. You see how that example literally affected everything? Yeah. That one example, I know is very extreme, but that's what I'm saying.
But you hot.
I'm always hot. Girl. But that's what I'm saying. You know, it's an extreme, but it makes sense. Like, and let me make it a little more basic. What I'm saying is, if I'm a boss I'm an owner and I'm interviewing, and you come to the interview in pajamas, same thing, or in sweats and a tee,
or against pajamas.
I'm trying to look for the most like the most basic outfit, shorts and a tee. I don't know, booty,
white beater and shorts.
White beater and shorts. Like, if you did that, I'm not judging you as like you're a terrible person. If I was the owner, I'm looking at it like, okay, they either may not have the means to have an outfit, and this is the best they could, or this was on some I don't give a fuck shit. So it would probably, now it would probably cause me to ask some questions.
I don't know. I'd be like, I know you're not interviewing here with that outfit.
You see? It's so weird because I thought you'd be more like, okay. But
no,
see,
but
I
feel
be
like
more compassionate. I feel bad.
If you're talking to me about a stranger, I'm going to go off of looks. Because I don't know you internally.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you.
But if I know you internally, you came over here with some nonsense.
Nah,
like,
if I know you internally, I'm checking you at the door. I don't give a fuck about how you look. You might just have a rough day, because shit, I know what I look like when I have a rough day. We could talk about that in a minute, shit. But I'm talking about, if I don't know you at all, and you approach me and your presence is not, presentable, that's different.
To work with.
That's all I got. Say that one more time.
All I got to work with is your outsides.
If I don't know you, I'm going off, and I'm not saying that it isn't telling. All I'm saying is you guys have to be mindful. And like, that's a perfect example. If I was doing an interview and somebody came in with some basketball shorts and a tee, you may expect her reaction more than mine. I'm looking at it like, depends on the outfit. If it was like he only had a polo and some pants, I'd be like, to me, that's careless, because that means you could afford something else. But if you really come to that and you really don't look, it's like Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness. If he came like that and he really didn't have it, I love that movie. No, it's a great movie. But that's a perfect example. Like, I would be intrigued as to what made you think that you could pull up to my business looking like that. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Now, depending on your answer, but like, well, if that's what it was, then I'd suggest bye. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, inner beauty affects everything. And if you feel, you ever wake up and feel like complete shit, you're having a rough day, you just sneezing up a storm, I just thought about something, and I'm gonna tell you because it happened to me doing my hair now. You ever had such a rough day trying to get your outer beauty together, and you trying to rely on your inner beauty to get the mental together? Because I can't tell you what it's like trying to curl a hair in heat, and the shit won't curl, and no matter what you do with that tenasa, that shit doesn't stay. I feel like sometimes when you don't feel your best, there's always a little bit of good in you to hold on to on that day. Like, you may not have the best hair that day, but shit, you got popping lipstick, you feel great, your spirit feels good, I don't know, people smiling, you smiling. Like, for me, how do I feel good about myself? When it comes to inner beauty, I be having rough fucking days. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes there were days where I would be in my fucking feelings before I would get to work or something. And you would never know, because, I was straight poker face. You know what I'm saying? But I learned that on rough days when I don't feel my best, that I have to look for the things that I know for a fact will never not be good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
you gotta hold on to that.
You gotta hold on to that shit.
To be able to push through.
To push through. Because I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you gotta feel beautiful every day. Your inner beauty gotta be on point every day. You're not gonna feel it every day, cabrón. That's not gonna happen.
I mean, I know as a woman, there's at least a week every month when my inner beauty,
it is out the door. I do not care. Don't ask me no questions or nothing.
Ugly, and
we don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just looking at, you know, especially today, women our age, even younger, if you're listening, even older. I think when I say that I think everyone is beautiful, I literally believe that, because I feel like as fucked up and as ugly as a lot of people are, I feel like there's a little bit good in everybody.
I feel like a lot of people's experiences have broken them or made them ugly. You know, that little bit of good might still be lingering, because like you said, everybody has at least a sliver of it. But ultimately, anybody who is showing a really ugly side is probably for a reason, and that's why you can't be too quick to judge. I know it's hard, because instinctively you're just like, yeah, no, I don't got time for this.
Yeah, but I get it.
Sometimes give people a benefit of the doubt.
I get that, and I like to give a benefit of the doubt, but then some people, you can't just be angry at everybody all day, every day. If if you don't know me, I just feel like if like I said, if I know you already and I see that you feel some kind of way, I get it. But if I don't know you or you don't know me, why are we approaching each other in a crazy way? You know what I'm saying? That tells me about you. Yeah. That tells me how you see yourself. Because if you don't have enough decency to show me any kind of respect when you first meet me, the fuck make you think I'm gonna look at you like you deserve it? You obviously don't respect yourself. And how does inner beauty affect that? Because how you feel about yourself inside affects what you put out. Because if you don't feel great inside, you're not gonna give anything good out of there. And if when you fake it, people know the difference. Because you ever notice when people faking a smile, the smile goes away fast after you're done?
I did it for years. 9 to 5, I faked the smile.
Yeah, but some people don't even wait for you to walk away. They just be like this.
Yeah, no, that's me over the phone. I'd be like, how may I help you? But my face is like this.
Yeah. On the phone, like but in person, honey, until that curtain closed, I've literally had moments like that where I'm like,
I'm not gonna front though. I think working in hospitality as long as I did, I just learned to kind of keep a permanent smile on. And for the most part, it's genuine. There's very few instances where I'm like, get out of my face. Like 9 times out of 10.
I enjoy it.
If I'm with somebody, like I'm helping a guest or a client or something, 9 times out of 10, I'm actually being nice.
No, I enjoy it. I enjoy hospitality. I enjoy being there, but you fucking human. Yeah. You can't expect everybody to be fucking cheerful every day. Absolutely. It's impossible. Yeah. But that's why in hospitality, since we mentioned it, in hospitality is important. I don't care what nobody says. In hospitality, you cannot work alone. There's no way. I don't know anything that you could do by yourself in hospitality.
All that to say this.
Inner beauty is...
I mean, I'm sticking to my answer. It's in the eye of the beholder.
Inner beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
And I inner beauty... It's not black and white.
It's not black and white, but it's something to be mindful of. And if you're not mindful of inner beauty, how to embrace it, what you consider your inner beauty to be, and how you want to embrace your inner beauty, I feel like inner beauty is one of those things where you want to be selfish. You have to be selfish. Because you cannot, it's the same way as you cannot love other people until you love yourself. It's kind of one of those things. I feel like embracing your truth offers relief and release and an opportunity to finally see all of the beauty. Because I feel like a lot of people don't actually know what their inner beauty is, or they're not aware, or they don't embrace it. You know what I mean? Like everyone has their, like, what is your inner beauty? How do you embrace that? How do you present that in the outside? Because you can embrace your inner beauty through the outside, whatever it is that you feel inside that, you know, you consider beautiful, whether it's your spirituality and, you know, the saging or whatever the fuck it is. you can embrace it. So anyway, long story short, what do I consider embracing your inner beauty is self-acceptance, is self-talk, self-love, be compassionate, and be patient with yourself. Because inner beauty doesn't mean perfection, and inner beauty is not going to be reached at a certain time. Inner beauty is a journey, because inner beauty never ends. Because even when you reach 50 and 60 years old, 70 years old, you're going to find something else that's beautiful. Because you and your life and the world and earth is forever rotating and changing. And you're changing with it. So when you embrace your inner beauty, you're constantly embracing you. That's it.
Tato.
Tato, hello. Anyway, now this is our artist of the week. His name is Michael, and I met him at our previous workplace. We became really, really cool. Every time we had a chance to have conversation, and I noticed his extreme talent, but the love that he has for cooking and things like that. I mean, he even made special dishes here and there where we worked, and it was really fun to be able to enjoy that. And then, yeah, so that's how I met Mike. Mike, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming here. So what's up? What's going on? How you been since pandemic, right? Really?
I'm going crazy like everybody else at home, stir crazy, trying to get out and about, do different things.
Yeah. What I did want to talk to you about, Michael, is watching you work and watching the way that, you know, you've been there for such a long time and you manage these teams. I'm just curious to know your backstory, how you started, what made you start cooking, and just kind of a deeper look into your background as opposed to just the fact that you cook really good food. Right now you're a sous chef. Executive sous chef. I'm sorry. But just tell us a little bit about your background.
What I did when I realized I wanted to be a chef, I ended up going to Culinary Institute of America. I did a degree in culinary arts and baking and pastry. At the time, I thought a chef should know more about desserts than a bachelor's. But I gave up a year of Saturdays for free when I was like 16, 17 years old. And I worked at the same restaurant as a food runner. Every Saturday morning, I worked for free from 9 to like 4 or 9 to 2 or something. I got through the prep and the lunch rush. And then I ended up going to my regular job at McDonald's. Because I wanted to make sure I want to get into this. I want to make sure this is my career. So like I tell people, go volunteer, go stage somewhere. It could be a good restaurant. It could be a local hole in the wall. At least you get your foot in the door and you see how the kitchen are.
You know, I agree with you 1,000%. I think that one of the main issues right now is that, without shitting on any other generation, I just feel like people want it a little bit too easy. Like when I wanted to become an event planner designer, I did quite some time as an intern. Like I put in some crazy work.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And I just feel like for our industry, hospitality, the service industry, you guys don't have to put in some work where it requires, like where you're not gonna get anything back. You know what I'm saying? And you might not ever get a thank you. You might not ever get any kind of recognition. But it's something to put in your background, in your resume, in your history. Like what did you know what I'm saying? So I just think like a lot today, I'm not gonna say all of this generation, but a lot of y'all just act like shit is supposed to just be handed to you. Like it's supposed to be just be like, here, toma, like here's your dream. I know, like you gotta go through some shit, man. You gotta volunteer, you gotta work, you gotta like make sure they remember your ass for free.
True. But this generation has like the TV, the social media.
Yeah.
So like, what do you see? You watch these top chefs, these master chefs, these chops. So you think that these guys got there already, but you don't know their background either, how hard they had to work to get there.
Right.
So you can't sit there and judge somebody on TV if you don't know their backstory, even though a lot of us do. We can be like, oh, yo, you're just on TV, oh, it's just bullshit, I can do that.
Have you done that grind, that dirty work? Have you gotten your hands dirty? And that's what I'm talking about. That's what people don't know, that they don't get.
No.
They don't get.
People
you know
jump from culinary school, some, not all, and they'll try to go into a Michelin star restaurant and work their way up that way, which is great.
It's great if you could get that. That's a great opportunity.
And then you're willing to sacrifice a lot. And 9 out of 10, they're not going to pay you. If they're going to pay you dirt cheap, that's cool. You can do that. Me, my career, like I needed to make money, so I worked in some decent restaurants. I worked in some little hole in the walls while I was going to culinary school, and then I worked for some talented chefs in restaurants and country clubs.
And you making your way, and now you're executive sous chef. You know what I'm saying? With some bomb ass tacos. I'm trying to tell y'all. One of the things that I did want to get into, I know this is low key corny, but I do want to ask is, because I feel some kind of way about certain things, but I wanted to see how you felt about it. But like, what are your pet peeves for a chef?
Well, it depends, because like if you show somebody how to do something, and if they keep fucking up, then you're gonna be pissed. Yo, don't you understand? Like, I done showed you how many times. That's when we start getting mad and stuff. Or like, you know, if you keep making the same stupid mistake, we're gonna get upset. It's one thing if you fuck up, all right, bet, let's work it out, or and stuff like that. But if you keep repeating the same mistake, so you're gonna piss somebody off.
Because it's like you're not paying attention.
No, because cooking is all about repetition, consistency. And that's what you want to do. You want to make sure everything's consistent and strive to make it beautiful, sexy, and then go from there.
Tell me, what is it that has inspired you, and what is it that motivates you every day to keep going?
Oh yeah, no, my great grandma used to cook a lot when I was a kid growing up. So I'd be in the kitchen with her, and then I think on my own, just little by little, just cooking on it and just not thinking about it. But I was like, you know, like 4th, 5th grade, and you just start making your own meal and stuff. My mom was working, so I would go ahead and just make some stuff for myself, and then just after realizing what I wanted to do when I was working in the restaurant before I went to college, then I went to college and then fall in love with cooking itself was when I was in college. Like realizing this is definitely what I want to do. I'm glad I came to this culinary school. I'm glad that I'm learning all these things and learning how to cook different stuff. That's what really got me into it. Pleasing somebody, knowing that you can make a dish and then somebody will come to you and say, hey, listen, yo, I had a tear. That reminded me of something I ate when I was a kid. So that, you're happy.
And I love that.
That's a beautiful thing.
I love that. I like the fact that it takes you back and it's a conversation starter. And that's what I love about food. You know what I'm saying? So I always like to talk to a chef because I feel like everybody gets inspired by something different. But what you guys all have in common is that the common denominator is that the fact that you guys feed off of that energy from when someone tastes something and they love it, or it reminds them of something, or you just spark the thought, spark the vibe, spark the emotion, and it's all from your palate, from something you created. And the best part, food is the one thing in artistry. I know there's probably a million other things, and you know what, send me a message or something if there is. I can't tell you off top, but to me, food is one of the only things that you can enjoy with damn near all your senses. You can eat it, you can taste it, smell it, feel it, everything, see it. You know what I'm saying? And I love that. And not only does it spark all of your senses, but it takes it to another level of sparking a thought. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So now that I said that, is that how you chef people? Seduce?
That's a good question. Probably could be a thing. You know,
like, is that like a thing? Like, yeah, Michael, if you like somebody, right? Are you gonna go out of your way and like cook some shit?
I've had this conversation in the past with somebody. Like, you know, here's the deal: when you're a chef and you're dating, nobody wants to cook for you. Because they think you're not going to like it.
It's nerve-wracking. Yes, so, I'd be nervous. I can't.
Nah, so for me, like, I like it. Like, you know, if I date somebody, if they want to cook, like, I'm fair games, please do, because I'm always doing the cooking. But yeah, it's a way of saying, hey, look, when you come over, I'll make something to eat. So you have that advantage, and you do impress somebody, and you make them like, oh shit, that's amazing. Like, oh, that's cool. And
but wait, so when you do cook for somebody and they're watching you, do you overdo some shit? Like, if you gotta use a spatula, you be like, like you just be doing extra shit. You perform it. You know what I'm saying?
I get in my zone. I'm in the same way no matter what. When I'm at work, when I'm at home, yeah, like anybody else, like I'll post some stuff I'm cooking. So like I'll have my son videotape it. So I'll do a little extra for that. Because I'm gonna post it on social media. Just for shits and giggles.
What was your most memorable dish?
And what are we talking about? Professional or we talking about home?
Both.
My favorite dish at home would be my mom's spaghetti. Because we can turn it into tacos or we can turn it into
course.
So yeah.
Telling you, he should do like a Taco Tuesday. I told him about this. He should really do like a thing. But anyway. Yeah. Okay.
And I think I can't remember the name of the meal, but I want to say between Alinea and 11 Madison, they had several courses that stuck out. But to remember the actual dish, I'd be trying to explain and you would understand because I can't really remember it. But I know those two pop out the most.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about any of some of the struggles that you've gone through trying to become a chef, getting to where you are now, and how you overcame them. And this is again, the reason why I talk to artists and chefs and stuff is because I feel like there's a lot of starving artists out there, like myself and like yourself. And it's great to see, like, you know, Gordon Ramsay and these amazing chefs doing great things. But how realistic is that to me if I want to be a chef? I can't be Gordon Ramsay tomorrow. No. I want to know from real talk, real shit, from someone who's made it far, but is still making moves to grow, to continue to grow. So what is maybe something or some of the things you've dealt with that you've overcame? And what I mean that is in trying to become the chef you want to be.
I think it's adjusting to every job and how they run and how to understand it, and then not going into a new job and being arrogant, be open-minded, understand who you're working with, how they do their stuff, slowly having them change to your way without you dominating right away. And like, there are a couple of jobs where I've worked in my beginning stages of my career where I forgot how to make fresh pasta. So, you know, I would get rained at because I didn't know how to do it, because I'm like, yeah, I was in culinary school. You know, this is like 4 or 5 years later. So, you know, you kind of forget certain things because not every place will make it. So then I'd adjust and learn how to make it. So once I did, it was great. So then I brought that with me everywhere I went. And then adjusting to learn how to do like high volume banquets. So that's something like, you know.
That shit looks so hard, bro.
You can work at a restaurant and you can bang out 500 covers, whatever the case is, 300 covers. So that, but you're repeating basically 4 or 5 meals, 6 meals, or whatever the case is, whatever your station has to offer. That's what you're going to repeat for this 4 or 5 hours. So that is also something that's hard to do. But then when you go from that and then you're learning how to do high volume, so you got to feed 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 people, and you have a timeline to get the food out, because depending on where you're running the food, that takes time. That's an art on its own. So that took me a while to learn that and stuff, so I can understand it and know how much food goes, like a box of lettuce. How much will it last, or how many bowls you get, how many portions.
So it's basically managing so many different aspects, besides like finding a balance. Yeah,
and then learning numbers too to go with it.
See, that was the thing. So I've been more of like a on the grounds hustler, you know, where a lot of that I learned has been on grounds. You know what I mean? That I know the work for events, building it, breaking them down. That's what I know, you know? So I understand what you're saying, where you want to go into something and you want to understand the environment you're in, because even though I have crazy experience building, designing, creating, and putting together events, because have had an amazing team to teach me, that I you know, there were certain things that I did not know, and then it's kind of if you don't manage your emotions and if you don't keep it together and understand that it's okay to not know shit, you're gonna get anxious, you're gonna fuck shit up. And there's nothing worse than when you try to fake like you didn't fuck it up, or like you fucked up. Yeah. If you messed it up, you messed it up. And I love the fact that you said that, because it's true. Like, you could be fucking top chef, and if you don't know the systems of whatever location you're in, if you don't know the systems, the protocols, how they do things, the numbers, how to do certain things, you're gonna fucking fail, because there's only your expertise can only take you so far. I mean, you said it yourself. What you learn in culinary school has helped shape you, you know, to continue growing and go to different places. But like you said, you could be in, I don't know, like an Italian restaurant for 2 years and only make pastas, and then end up working somewhere else where all you make is burgers. Now you have to readjust. Yes. So I think that was a really valid point, and people need to hear that. And I think that goes back to what we talked about before, where you need to humble your ass and understand that you got to put in work. You cannot go somewhere and assume that because you got a name or a following or you cute or whatever, that it's just going to be put in your fucking hands. You got to learn some shit. Yeah. So that was a really valid.
Whatever you did at your previous job may not work at this job. So you got to figure out, you got to find the right balance. You got to work that line. Yeah. Figure out what it is that works for both.
And then don't get us wrong. That shit ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you coming from from the same world, but a different side.
Yes. So when I stepped into my current role, it took me a minute to understand and adjust. Like I've done catering, I've done banquets, but to sit there and go to do 2,000 or 3,000 people and sit there in repetition where you're gonna bang out, I don't know, 1,000 sandwiches in like 4 hours, that's a lot. And stuff. You get in early in the morning and you're just sitting there and just repetition. So after a while, you get annoyed, you get frustrated because it's just you're working on one thing for a few hours.
As a woman, women sometimes feel it's very challenging to deal with so many men in the workplace and the kitchen. Believe it or not, I feel like it's more men than women. So, but as a woman in the workplace, I'm not specifying kitchens or anything. I'm saying women in the workplace, we have to constantly work harder, be better, be wiser, be quicker, be tougher, be faster, be smarter. It's just all the time. And then on top of that, we want you to respect us. And I know that in environments in the hospitality industry where it's, I believe it's male dominant, how do you handle that? Like, because you're probably thinking women get emotional in the kitchen or something, or why she whatever, but sometimes people don't understand the kind of pressure we have to make sure that all these men respect us.
What I always used to tell some of my female friends I'm close with, yo, you just gotta walk around the guy and bigger dick than them. That's it, like hands down. Like you're talented, you know what you're doing. I have female friends of mine down, a little self-insecure back then. But just walk around like your shit is bigger than theirs. Like, you know you got it. You know you're talented. I've seen you cook. I've seen you better than the guy who's been here for like 10 years who didn't go to culinary school. Not disrespecting him, but sometimes you get those guys that are stuck in the old ways. They have that old mentality.
For all my starving artists, whether they're chefs, tattoo artists, whatever, how do they keep going? How can they still be innovative during these times? If you could tell them anything right now?
You just gotta find what motivates you. So like for me personally, it's I know by a certain age I want to reach a certain position, so that's gonna always motivate me. I know I got a family I gotta worry about, so that's also gonna motivate me. I know that my career is my passion, so I'm not gonna stay in one area for a long time or not progress. Like my goal is always to progress. I always want to see myself move forward with everything. So I kind of use some of that to keep myself going. So I set myself up for little goals, and in my career I've hit all the goals I wanted to. May have not been in that time frame. May have taken a year longer. May have came a year before. It all depends on what my goals were for that time frame of my life. So I'm going to strive for it and work for it and do whatever it takes, and be humble about it.
Be humble. Be humble. There's nothing, I'll end it with this. There's nothing more important than being a hustler, but being a humble hustler. It's good to be confident, because if you don't believe in your shit, nobody will. Dead ass. You know what I'm saying? You have to put value in your own shit before anybody else could. So that's important. But be humble, y'all. Because you never know where you'll be tomorrow. But that's it for today. Michael, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I hope you had a really good time. I'm so happy
did.
you came, and we had such a good time, and the food was delicious, and I feel like you gave me so many positive outlooks and tips and just great motivational things to share with everybody. And I feel like we had a real ass conversation.
I think we did too.
And I hope you come back.
I will. You let me know anytime.
Yay. Okay. That is it for this episode. I feel like we ended it on a really good note. I don't want people to think that we're like angry people that think people are ugly. I'm just saying you are what you show me. When people show you who they are, believe them. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Thank you, Evie, for this amazing episode. She's here, y'all.
She's gonna see y'all next episode.
Guys, remember Instagram, Late Night with Linda Rosa, and
Candid Creations _ on Instagram.
Yep. And then you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook. You can email me your questions. And we have a lot more coming for you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing day and that tomorrow's even better. And I'll see you